is Elsie Munoz. The grade that I expect is an A. The group type is educational. The group purpose is for interviewing skills. The setting will be at the conference room at the Career Center at UTEP. This is a closed group and it's voluntary. The dynamics will be that Ruben is a know it all and he tends to give negative responses to other members, which affects the cohesion of the group. Marina and Christina are both planning to interview at the same agency, which is creating some tension. Planning considerations, I needed to consider travel, time, and location for the students here at UTEP. And the roles, Ruben will be the know-it-all. Marina is nervous and she asks questions, and Christina's quiet and insecure. Hi guys, welcome back to our group. We're talking about interviewing skills this time. And let's just remember that we meet at 6 p.m. every Wednesday here at the conference center, and we'll be doing this for 6 weeks, okay? I also wanted to discuss termination. So at some point, this group session or these group sessions, they are going to end, and then we'll talk about everything at that point. If you feel that you need more assistance, you can join the next group that's going to start after this. So what I want to do is I just want to remind everybody that we're talking about interviewing skills and we're getting ready for employment out in the real world after you guys graduate, okay? Let's see. What I want to begin with is I want to go around the room and I want to ask everybody to please state your full name, your degree if you have one, and where you plan to interview at. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with Christina.
Well, I am Christina Rodriguez. I have a bachelor's in science for chemistry, and I'm planning to interview with the Environmental Rights Bureau, and is that all that you wanted?
Yeah, that was it. Okay. Thank you so much. Marina?
So my full name is Marina Ramirez, and I will also be interviewing at the Environmental Bureau. I graduated from UTEP, and I'm excited to be here.
Okay, thank you. And Ruben?
I'm Ruben Angelo, and I'll be interviewing at the Texas Department of Waterworks.
Okay, all right. Thank you all for your input. First of all, I want to say thank you, everybody, for dressing up today. So, for coming in your, professional suits, as discussed for our homework last time. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that everybody's clear about the purpose. So we're going to discuss and we're going to practice our interviewing skills. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I know that some of you already have part-time jobs and more of you are going to get full-time jobs later on, okay? So what I want to do is I want to use some exercises to help us to get ready for that, okay? But first, I want to ask the class to share what they do know about interviewing. So any experiences maybe that you've had, or if you want to throw something out there so that we can all benefit from it. Ruben, it seems like you would like to go first.
You can interview it. It's easy to interview. It's not hard.
It's easy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Marina?
I like to prepare by just, kind of reviewing a little bit of the literature as to what would be the best way to answer some of the interview questions to be short, precise, and to the point.
Okay, and good point. We'll
You just need
discuss
to be
those.
honest.
Yeah, thank you, Ruben. We'll discuss those in our next exercise when we have our interviewing questions, so we can go ahead and practice those.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're talking about interviewing skills?
Yeah, I mean, if you've had any, experiences that you would like to go over, or if you would like to say something or give some pointers.
Okay. Well, I know that you're supposed to dress nice, dress for the job that you want.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to look at people in the eye, and you're supposed to not be nervous. And I think that's like what I'm really struggling with right now. It's just being nervous.
Okay.
So is that why you were first to interview?
So what I think I'm hearing you say, Ruben, is that I think you're telling Christina, hear that? Maybe you feel that she's dressed inappropriately for an interview?
I just think that if you're wearing a skirt in interviews, it depends on how you carry about yourself.
Well, exactly. If this is how she chooses that she wants to dress for her interview, then that's her prerogative. You know, you dress for success in a completely different way than maybe Christina does. Would you agree?
I guess.
Okay. So with that being said, I would like to go into our first exercise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you all get into groups of two. And I'm going to give you guys some interviewing questions. So if you just want to practice a few of these and maybe answer them amongst yourselves for a couple of minutes, here you go.
So I work with Ruben? With
Yeah, you'll work with
Christina?
Ruben, and then I can assist with Christina. I'll be her
Okay.
group. Okay? And if you guys want to face towards each other and just practice a couple of these questions, okay? Okay. So, Christina, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I just
So what would your last
I
boss
just
say
graduated
about
from
your work
UTEM with a bachelor's in chemistry, and I have a lot of experience with environmental
No
work.
complaints.
And last
Just layout.
summer, I did an internship with the Environmental
consider yourself
Justice Bureau, and
Yes.
I loved it.
And
We
what-
were out in Arizona collecting river samples of the water to assess for like nitrogen levels.
So what would you
And
consider are
so
your
that's why
strengths
I'd
and
really be
weaknesses?
interested in working for the
Mm.
Environmental Justice Bureau again,
If you
because
have
it was
any.
just such a great experience.
My strengths are mine, are me.
Would you like to ask me one of these
Weaknesses are those I
questions?
work around.
Okay. Well, did I do it okay?
Yeah.
Does that sound
Okay,
great?
so then I get
Okay,
you
very
like working by
informational.
yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, more than you do
So
working in
what
that
are your
group.
long range and
Okay.
short range goals and objectives?
Okay, so one of my
How do you
long
work
range
under
goals
pressure?
would be to
I seem to work well under
maybe
pressure.
develop a
Yeah.
program
It's just
at a
part of the
community
job.
center and be able to get full funding for
So
it.
pressure is always part of
One
the
of my
job.
short-term goals
I
would
would think
be
so. Most of the
to
time it's
um,
deadlines and
obtain a
And I-
position
I can
at an
handle it
agency
pretty well.
that I've always wanted
I
to work for.
previously met all my deadlines with success
Okay.
in previous jobs.
Okay, is everybody ready? Let's come back to our circle. And I just want to ask everyone how they did. How did you think that the exercise went? And were you able to answer some of these questions? Would somebody like to go first?
They were easy. Just simple questions.
They were easy? Okay.
Well, I just think that like when I was talking to you, you were kind of like looking at the other members, and you just like didn't seem interested in what I was saying. And I mean, I guess that's good training for an interview, but it made me feel really, really anxious and uncomfortable. It just made me feel like what I was saying wasn't good enough.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you felt that way, Christina. As a group leader, I was trying to also be present for the other two members and listen to what they were saying as well. And this might be something that you might experience in an actual interview. You might actually have your interviewer might be jotting down some things. So it may not seem like if they're paying attention, but they're actually hearing what you're saying. Okay? And
What are some what am I supposed to do in that situation when if I feel like somebody's not listening to me?
well, in a job interview like that, you want to just keep on answering the question that they asked you to answer, and maybe they're just jotting down what you're telling them. So I don't think that maybe you should take offense to it, but maybe just provide that information that they're asking for. But very good question. Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I felt very comfortable with Ruben because he kind of set that tone where I feel that I could be a little bit more honest instead of telling them what they want to hear. I felt like I could answer from what I really wanted, what I had to say.
Okay. Thank you. And Ruben?
It was okay. I mean, nothing that I didn't already know.
Okay. So how did the handout help you?
It helped me help her.
Well, I mean, like I said, I usually like to look at things like this so that I would know how to answer. For example, he asked me, how do I handle pressure? And I said, I handle it very well, but then that was all that I had to say for that moment until I was able to think of, how I could demonstrate that I handle
Yeah,
pressure.
definitely.
So I like things like this because it gives me a chance to
Okay.
think about what I'm going to say.
Yeah, and again, these are the handouts. You can keep them, so you can also practice them when you go home. Okay, Christina, you seem a little nervous. Do you have any questions about the handout? Or do you
No.
need some clarification?
No, I think it's good. I think it's a good handout. I'm glad that I get
Okay,
to see it home.
all right. So I hope that you guys found that beneficial. I would like to go into our next exercise. So last time we discussed elevator speeches and what they should contain. So I wanted us to go ahead and practice these elevator speeches on ourselves. Would that be okay with everybody? Do you feel that you might be ready for that? Yeah?
Yeah, I'll take the challenge.
Okay, good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to model my elevator speech for you all, okay? Would that be fine? Okay. So hi, my name is Elsie Munoz. I'm a master's level social worker. I work for Outright Community Center. So I'm currently working on a grant proposal to help children or youth with transportation to the center. So statistics show that 85% of LGBTQ youth don't have any support in the community, or that they feel that they don't, or they don't have access to it. So I feel that this new proposal might help with that. I know that you are interested in funding projects that assist youth with support groups. So with that being said, I would like to offer you to come and take a tour in our agency, and I'll go ahead and I'll leave you with my resume and my card so that you can contact me whenever possible. Thank you. So that's my elevator speech, and I believe that was probably 30 seconds or less. So if you guys want to turn to each other again and maybe give each other your elevator speeches.
Wait, I just have a question. So,
Sure.
would you say that we would need to be carrying a resume and an index card at all times, or business card?
You don't have to, not necessarily. You don't have to carry that at all time. But if you do have one available, you'll want to provide one at that time. Okay?
And so I have a question.
Sure.
How do you know who is the right person to approach with that? I mean, for example, if it's in the, we're riding the elevator in the morning and all we want to do is get to our offices and get to work on time, I don't know that would be a convenient time to approach Mr. X, Y, and Z, CEO of the company.
Yeah, well,
what do you think?
And that's exactly why it's called the elevator speech, because at a time like that, you may have 30 seconds or less to actually introduce yourself and make the conversation interesting, or interesting enough that this person is going to pay attention.
Okay.
So that's actually the exact point of this exercise, is that you get everything out about yourself that you feel are qualities that they want to hear about, and they might just contact you after that.
Oh, okay.
So for example, Marina and Christina, I know that you both are interested in going to the same agency for an interview. So this may be something that you want to consider. If you only have a certain amount of time with this person, how are you going to make yourself seem very available and beneficial to this person over another candidate?
So then it's also good to, would you say, Ms. Elsie, that it's also good to know the people that are in the board, or how their, chain of command works, so that you know who to approach? I mean, who's who and what's what? Would you say that's important?
That's actually a very good question, and it is important to do a little bit of research about the company that you're planning to interview for. So you'll want to get a little bit of research done so that you do know, maybe if you do come in contact with somebody from that agency, you have that opportunity to talk with them. Okay. Ruben, do you have any questions? You're kind of quiet on that side.
No.
No? Would you like to share something with us? If you've been through this before, you said that you felt very confident in it.
Yeah.
Yeah? Would you like to share some pointers if you have any?
Just be confident.
Be confident. Okay. Well, that's a good pointer to give. Would you like to demonstrate this for us?
No.
Well, it's actually part of the exercise. So would you like to turn to Marina and give her your elevator speech as if she was the CEO of the company that you would like to interview for?
Yeah, Ruben.
Yeah, could you please turn to Marina and do this for us? Just give something. I just want remind us that we're all here to learn about our employment seeking strategies and learning about these skills. So, there's no shame in practicing this at all. Let's turn to each other and we'll practice our elevator speeches, okay?
Okay.
Christina, you want to go first? Wow, everybody did a really good job on their elevator speeches. Thank you all for sharing with each other. So what I want to do now is we're coming to the end of our sessions, and I just want to tell everybody that everybody did a really good job. I would like for everybody to go around the room and tell me how, or rate these exercises that we've done and rate the sessions, and let me know a little something that you've learned out of it. So who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Mine
Christina?
was definitely a 10.
A 10?
I really, I've just had so much difficulty finding a job now that I really just felt like I needed a little bit of validation in my interviewing tips, and I feel a lot better, and I feel a little more confident, and I realized doing these exercises has made me realize that it's not, and my being unsuccessful in finding a job so far, it's not because I'm not qualified, it's because I haven't been confident. So this has really been helping me a lot.
That's good. I'm glad that you finally came to that realization. Marina?
I really liked the exercise about the elevator speech because I wasn't prepared for that, and it really did make me think how I could, I guess, present myself or sell myself for the job, if you will. Not literally, but in that sense of being hired. Because I just really made me think that I should have something like that prepared just in case.
Yeah.
So I like that exercise.
Okay, thank you. And Ruben?
Yeah, I think that before I would have done this as a 2 or a 3, but it was pretty interesting.
So what would you rate it now?
No, I'm on a 9, maybe.
At a 9? Okay. And can you tell me something that maybe you've learned out of this?
No, there's more to always learn.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you for your input. So I would like to end this by telling everybody good job and good luck in your future endeavors. Okay? Thank you all.
Elsie.
Bye-bye.